The Amazon, the last call. All human beings are the same, but fortunately we have different tastes. There are people who like cats, people who like felines, and others who cannot stand to look at them. I, for example, am passionate about them, and that's why we have produced this program about felines in Brazil for you. And there are other human beings who love these precious animals to the point that they even start to act like them. Mid-morning, under a shady spot, the big cat proves its legend of evil one more time. The smell of carrion-eating birds is everywhere. The jaguar has sinned again. He has stolen another calf from mankind in order to satiate his desperate animal hunger. Natural prey are becoming scarcer as time passes. But in the end, cattle meat is easy to obtain and as delicious as deer or tapir. An overwhelming logic that all the animals of the Pantanal seem to share, except for humans. This is how hard life is in the land of jaguars and men. Death walks on all fours through these parts, and for the jaguar hunters, it is not difficult to follow their biggest enemy's path. Their pride has been plundered once again by the intelligence of the jaguar, and they swear to get revenge. Their honor is on the line.
Olha o racho da outra aqui, gente. É, rapaz. E ela pegou aqui, acho que pegou sua vaca. Olha o cachorro pra farejar aí. A pegar aí. Eu acho que só esses dois cachorros não vai ajudar a pegar essa onça, não.
Como que tá a coisa lá? A onça tá perseguindo muito o gado lá. Hoje já tá com o choro lá para ver se descobre ela, senão vai.
On the Leirinho hacienda, 3 field men are getting ready for a very special hunting trip. Their weapons hang from their cartridge belts. Meanwhile, to lift their spirits, they drink guaraná with rum, an explosive cocktail that only they can handle. It's going to be a long night.
Vamos pra lá.
Ótimo. Vamos sair fumaça, ver a onça. Tá muito atacando nosso gado hoje.
With the help of a metal bucket, they imitate the voice of a male ready to mate. They're trying to attract the animal that ate the calf early this morning. For decades, the ancestral experience of these jaguar hunters has let them outwit these animals on their own land, the land of pride. The sagaya is a spear that gives these men their name, zayagueros, men specialized in hunting jaguars. When the big cats attacked the cattle, these men always came to the rescue, and they still do today. Thousands of jaguars have died run through by a spear, paying their debts in full, as well as those of their ancestors. Their dead bodies allow men to recover their offended honor. Like this man, who ended up with his face chewed to pieces in a one-on-one fight, few times captured on camera. In the 1950s, a camera was the witness to one of these duels, and today we can see in exclusive the results of that filming. A visual document of great historical value. A zayaguero, his dogs, and a jaguar play the leading roles in a crude episode in this most primitive Pantanal. Such as Simo, a famous hunter at that time, makes the jaguar take the bait, knowing her strength. He brings her close to the sharp point of the spear. You can see the rest, blood splattering and one less feline. The land of the jaguar has one less subject. Today, cattle raising is not going very well in Brazil. Many animals are lost due to a lack of professionalism and are converted into the daily carrion for millions of wandering animals. The jaguar does not enter man's estate for pleasure. He is only a dethroned king, forced into being an opportunistic predator. Attacking the cattle just shows us how the rural population is becoming scarcer every day, as well as how equally threatened the jaguar is. Today, we know that an adult jaguar controls a territory of no less than 100 kilometers, and yet there is space for everyone. The people directly confronted by the jaguar inhabit beautiful but dangerous places. On the edge of the Pantanal National Park, we went to see a man who lives in the land of the Pantera Onça, which is what they call the jaguar in this area. The great carnivore did not steal any cows from him, but the jaguar attacked him a few weeks ago. He still cannot explain how he survived. At 36, José de Oliveira Mori recognizes that he is miraculously alive thanks to the courage of his brother Luis.
The onça attacked me. He bit my arm. Then my brother arrived with a machete, with a knife. He fought with her. He opened her mouth and stuck the knife in. She let me go and ran away.
My brother was not on land. He was sailing in the canoe when the onça attacked him, in a place called Mato Hondo. There was a lot of water, up to his waist. He was badly hurt, and we had to take him home, and then later to the hospital.
The onça placed him in the hospital for 2 weeks, and today, his body is a jigsaw puzzle of scars.
I have injuries on this arm, in various places. I have a scar on the other arm, and also on my face, on my eyebrows and nose. She hurt me a lot.
Two hours downriver, we found another man with an interesting story. His name is Marinho, an old poacher who has killed more than 100 jaguars over a 20-year period. Today, he is a keeper at the Pantanal Matogrossense National Park. Very few people know that the Pantera Onça is yesterday's enemy and today's friend. Sometimes he makes another lure out of a gourd, just like his father taught him. His goal is to attract the jaguar during the night, while he remembers being unarmed, without his rifle, those times when he challenged the jaguar in order to kill him. Tonight, his message will be peace, a tribute to wildlife and to the river. Deep down, Marinho, like everyone around here, admires these sleek and vibrant icons. Here in the Amazonian waters, you don't have to fight against man to get food, like in the Pantanal. Or even here, in the middle of the tropical forest, all you need to do is to move closer, very silently, and carefully aim, using your mind. This jaguar is female, and she's also patient. She belongs to the Amazonian species, which is smaller than her sisters in the Pantanal. 60 kilos of muscle and agility. Moreover, she likes to start her day with good fresh fish. Here, in the Garden of Eden, in this hidden corner of the Amazonian jungle, cow meat, aside from causing the jaguars problems, is high in cholesterol. Good fish is healthier, and fishing for it, more fun and refreshing. These cats are happy in the water, and sometimes they spend hours swimming. They beat against the water with their paws, and the fish go crazy. Some, like this tambaqui, which weighs 1.5 kilos, get flustered and then end up in the jaguar's paw. Jaguars can see underwater like otters. They don't need a scuba mask. By constantly moving their heads, nobody can escape. And this way, they break the cloudy veil of the rainforest waters with their caramel-colored eyes. At night, their visual acuity is 6 times better than ours. They lie upside down when they're hungry, and they search for their prey with skill and determination. This cub, although only 6 months old, is already swimming on his own. Well, he's not exactly alone. His sister is watching him. She's undecided, but wants to jump in too. During the 2 years that they stay with their mother, the Pantera onzas go to the rivers to develop their hunting weapons. After a dip in the water, their fur shines, and the rainforest is bearable, since temperatures reach 50 degrees Celsius in the shade. Playing makes life more fun, and for now, they don't have to worry about searching for food, which is their mother's job. Their biological obligation is to grow and develop, so that one day they can rule all the living beings in the jungle. They're already learning their first lesson. The word jaguar comes from the indigenous vocabulary and means the one who kills with one leap. As you can see, they never stop honoring their name. They dive to infinity. They enjoy the water like playful kittens, like mermaids with spotted skin. And they don't only come to look for food, unless this jaguar is a vegetarian. When there is a storm, the onzas are happy since they bring water. These animals love the rain. They're children of the clouds, like the Saharan people. Vegetation is renewed with every storm, and our cameras have captured one of the moments of renovation. Romantic adventures under the rain and in waters that are more than 5 meters deep. Two-way feline love, for those who believed that this was an aloof and unsociable animal. In the city of Cuiabá, João Sebastião da Costa starts another painting. He lives for the love of art and admires jaguars. These big cats are a constant feature in his life and his work.
I still have the image of a hunting scene from when I was a child, engraved in my memory, the hunting of a jaguar. My father liked to hunt, to be in the jungle for months. He once took me hunting with him. I had that great opportunity. It was the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. To see an onça cornered and hunted. He complained, he shouted. It really affected me. It was engraved on my memory.
At 49 years of age, this painter recognizes being captivated by the onça's beauty. His works revolve around this animal. They reign his delirious, peculiar universe and have been exhibited in galleries in Brazil, Germany, London, and New York.
The onça walks at a different rhythm. Understand? It has a different melody of matchless beauty. There is no equivalent to the jaguar of the jungle. There is nothing more beautiful than the Panthera onça, you know? Because seeing it in a natural landscape is indescribable. There is nothing as beautiful.
A beauty that is becoming scarcer every day. An animal that is threatened even more every day, and which is only saved by the canvases of this ecologist painter. Jaguar territory is a canvas without any brushstrokes. Every day, works of art are ready to be painted, and there are infinite numbers of artists ready to create them. At the moment, the color reaches us through this surreal and toxic caterpillar. Within a few weeks, it will change into a beetle, and now it constantly needs to eat everything that is green, which his hairy crimson body is lacking. But there's always someone around here ready to ruin your day. No one can stop these hunting ants. They take the life of any living thing that gets in their way. In this jungle, everyone eats to be eaten. And this caterpillar, without realizing it, is taking the last step of its life. A simple miscalculation will cost him a lot. His own weight makes him fall, and his prickly hairs are not enough to fight off the fearsome ants. United we stand, and the ecological pyramid demands sacrifices. This horrific show catches the attention of another neighbor of the jaguar. It's a white titi with a golden tail, an ant-eating machine. This opportunity, as you can imagine, is perfect for climbing down the tree to enjoy the feast. Of course, the ant bites will hurt him, but the monkey's teeth are like sharp needles that work to their heart's content. There isn't salvation in the anthill either. The titi makes a thorough sweep, as if he wanted revenge on the devoured caterpillar. He's better off climbing high again, just in case the jaguar is roaming around in the nearby area. This Panthera onça senses that something has happened here. He's not searching for ants or caterpillars. His interest is captivated by the titi, who cannot be seen in the treetops. He's too late, and the ground only gives off the smell of dead prey. There are 3 types of panteronsas in Brazil. This is one of them, the jerete, which weighs about 100 kilos, although male jaguars have been recorded as weighing up to 160. At the Sao Paulo Zoo, this angry lion is waiting for the dentist. Others are more resigned, like this old jaguar. Being in captivity has taken away her energy and filled her with sadness. For good dental work, anesthesia is a must. Putting the animal to sleep helps avoid frightening the patient as well as the doctors. They have to give her the correct dosage, since the operation is very complicated. 2 hours in the operating room with her jaw wide open. Now the jaguar is an inoffensive kitten. They must handle her without fear, but with a lot of respect. At the clinic, this carnivore is so drugged that she's not considered dangerous. Her eyes are cloudy and her mouth is open. The doctor sticks her hands inside. She's the only one able to solve her dental problem.
She has plaque buildup. Her gums are of a different color, and the color around her teeth, around her canines, and also the molars is different. And she has fractures on one of her upper canines.
Bacteria destroys what little she has left as a great hunter. A degenerated denture, which only serves for eating and not for being. Reconstructing the mouth of a carnivore in captivity is a very difficult task. Life in prison is not at all healthy, and its predatory nature is the first to suffer. Her canines are 5 centimeters long, which are the same size as a lion's. According to the experts, the bite of a jaguar is even stronger than the bite of the king of the African jungle. She has 20 teeth designed to kill live prey, a strong virtue that defines her as the great feline of the Americas. But she now only uses them to eat cooked meat. We know for a fact that there are 250 jaguars living in cages in Brazil. These big animals live up to 27 years in captivity, although they are attended in an artificial way by the veterinarians, who even sharpen their nails, the king of the jungle's ID card. Without leaving the city of Sao Paulo, the second most populated city in the world with 22 million inhabitants and very far away from nature, we're going to show how cutting-edge science and technology are fighting against the clock to prevent the extinction of the jaguar.
Tank that contains the embryos that we've produced in Brazil over the past week. The research that we're doing is really geared towards producing ocelot embryos by in vitro fertilization, and then to freeze those embryos as a way to preserve the genetic diversity of those cats for a long-term basis. The other main advantage of doing this technology is it allows us to move animals between institutions as frozen embryos.
The first Pantera onça embryos in vitro are waiting frozen, ready to illuminate the future of this threatened species. Man does not want to lose sight of this animal, which he has admired and feared for centuries. The great cat devours the sun during the eclipse. This is how big and strong he is for the Guaranis. But 21st century Brazil has not forgotten its sacred beast. Many towns still adore her in the year 2000, as they always have. And we have verified this fact in Belém and Pará.
En mitad de la calle, en el centro de una ciudad amazónica, con calor.
In the middle of the street, in the heart of an Amazonian city, with the heat and the smell of incense. Here to worship beings which form part of the tradition and of the religion, of the culture, Cabropra. Beings in this case, shaped with dreadful taste, according to my point of view, by some artists, but which represent the Pompagida, which is a very dangerous dancer. A very chauvinist view, maybe, of the rituals and myths which badly influence the people of the rainforest. And the Rompemato, a strong name, but it is not its strength that helps save the Caboclos and the river people from the bad problems of the rainforest, but the onça is in front of them. We have already seen that this animal is hated and insulted, the feline that eats so many cows and does so much damage. And they even support religion, the myth and culture, here in the Amazonian rainforest, with their wisdom and their strength.
They are carnivores, predators, killers. They are like contestants in the food chain with men. Because these Pantera onças like anther meat, queixada meat, which are animals that are very needed by the Parolo. Today the feline is not an animal, it is an alter ego, another mortal being, dangerous, but let's say an alter ego in agreement with cultural production. It is the cultural embodiment of myself when I die. It is in this sense that they are carnivorous animals, predators that are going to compete with men in terms of worldly materials, basic nutritional material.
Aside from the Pantera onça, the great jaguar, other felines are incorporated into the unusual universe of the indigenous people. This is quite rare, not often seen and of lesser size, but equally untamed. A ferocious Morisco cat, loyal to its owners, and which slightly reminds us of the legendary Black Panther. Only the wise Zoe are able to tame their wild nature. Captured as a cub, This animal is also called a jaguarundi and forms part of the family. This is a very valuable resource, obtained in the most distant part of the Amazon, but also the healthiest, where people and animals enjoy each other's friendship without limits or problems. The Morisco cat, with its nocturnal habits, is a carnivore that likes to eat all kinds of birds. He already has set his eyes on this egret, which will have problems trying to escape. Weighing only 6 kilos and with a 40-centimeter long tail, he looks like an otter cat, an elongated, flat body that moves close to the ground. He's like a mortal shadow hunting its prey, which will never know where the attack came from. The Morisco cat lives from southern Texas to the province of Buenos Aires in Argentina and throughout all of Brazil, where it has been seen eating fruit on a regular basis, as well as rodents and birds, as we've seen tonight. Maybe for the general public, there are only great animals. Maybe within the Brazilian feline world, there are only 2 big felines, like the jaguar and the puma. We have seen that this is not true. Here I have a playful creature, which is only 4 months old and belongs to the smallest species of Brazilian felines. It's the Mutt-Pequeno Cat. It's an incredible species. The general public may not be aware of its existence, but there are people here in Brazil who have been protecting them and watching out for their future for many years. After a 75-day pregnancy, she was brought into the world weighing half a kilo. Her mother was shot to death, and now in the incubator, she's overcoming the first trauma of her short life, being born as an orphan. It's a baby tiger, one of the 6 species of small Brazilian felines. These are the eyes of a Maraca cat, another small and little-known feline, whose paws catch your attention for their length. They are also hunting weapons, ready to strike. Jaguars and pumas are the best known, but the world of tropical cats, as we're seeing, is full of anonymous relatives of smaller stature, but of great importance in the chain of life. This is the least studied species, and of course the least filmed. You're enjoying the scene of the precious Pampas Cat, an animal that we know very little about, but one that fascinates us with her feline beauty. Looking like a domestic cat, like a Persian breed, this sharpened, pointy-eared predator can be found throughout South America, from the Andes to the southern tip. In South America, it's called the gato pajero, for their love of open spaces. In Brazil, it's not very well known. Like every other feline species, they often have to hide to avoid deadly encounters with human beings. The way they move is not defensive enough. Ocelots do not need to be strong and intelligent. Modern Brazil does not give them space to live, and these encounters are more and more frequent.
This is an animal that has arrived recently, a wild animal. But since he was run over, his faculties have been weakened. And he will be staying with us for at least a week or so that we can examine his wounds. And who knows if he can return to the wild. If he is not strong enough to go back out into nature, he will then participate in our reproduction program, given that this is a species in danger of extinction.
Dr. Cristina Harumi and a group of volunteer friends invest their time and money in giving back to nature all the specimens that have been traumatically stolen.
Põe uma pomadinha aqui não deixa nada na frente.
Let's take advantage of this opportunity to compare the teeth of this recent arrival from nature with the jaguar at the São Paulo Zoo. The ocelot that was hit is between 5 and 10 years old, and although it lost an eye in the accident, he will be able to live in nature once again after being cared for by the veterinarians of the association. Blood is drawn in order to know more about its genetic chart. If he were not able to fully recuperate, we could take advantage of his sexual maturity for the project to breed the animals in captivity. We must keep in mind, of course, the complicated sexual relations that all felines have, among other reasons, because of the bones that cover the male penis to induce the female's ovulation. The eccentricities of the genital anatomy of these animals. This Brazilian military outpost, which is in charge of watching over the Amazonian border, is located in the outskirts of Manaus. At the CIGS, or Jungle Warfare Instruction Center, the Pantera Onça is the leader of the army. Without her, no one gets up, much less to form ranks at 7 in the morning. Like the ram in other armies, the jaguar is the talisman of this one, the toughest division of the Brazilian military. Each day, this soldier prepares the felines of the outpost before raising the flag. They are, according to the superiors, the spirit of free Amazonia. The flag is raised in front of the tomb of a jaguar. Her name was Cossack, and she lived with the soldiers for 27 years. She was more than a mascot. She was a friend, who is buried here today. Her virtues, humanized by the paranoid military view, are praised in each procession.
Patience to ambush. Perseverance to survive. Shrewdness to hide. So that we do it with dignity. And we deserve the victory. Jungle.
These onzas represent all the things that the men of the barracks would like to embody. They are tailor-made for the jungle and are the rulers of this universal homeland without ever shooting once. But let's not be fooled. A martial bearing is not their strong point, and she's rather submissive before our cameras. Meanwhile, the head of the Amazon army of Brazil pays tribute to the Jaguar. His men and military machinery are under his orders, although the poor animal is not enjoying this bellicose and patriotic moment. The armies that use the Jaguar as a symbol in times of peace are the same ones that provoke the wars that cause death in every corner of the human and feline world. This ocelot, also called Jaguatirica, defines his territory without weapons. He knows every stretch of this jungle and enjoys the possibilities that it offers him for survival. His footsteps, his roars, and his propelled urine are his only defense mechanisms, although we do not know how to interpret them. They are threatened more and more every day. The Brazilian felines resist extinction. There are 8 species living in this dream country. A dream country full of traps. From impressive pumas to small cats, even if you are never going to see one of them, just knowing they exist is a gift that the planet has given us. The jaguar is possibly the scarcest gift. There are only 10 to 15,000 specimens left in Brazil, the wisdom of the land of jaguars. In our next episode, we will leave the Amazon behind in order to discover the hidden geography of the other natural Brazil. will travel inland from the coast. We will cover millions of kilometers and tour some of the natural sanctuaries where unique living beings are found outside the Amazon jungle. A television program dedicated to Brazil's national parks. We will show that the delicate equilibrium should be preserved, as well as the enjoyment of the natural heritage and its necessary conservation. Breathtaking landscapes before our eyes, protected paradises that we will approach with the respect that they deserve, like temples in which time and biology have worked true miracles. It's time to say goodbye until our next encounter with the multicolored and refreshing life in the national parks of Brazil.